Good evening, everybody. We're back here in Tarboro Municipal Stadium. I'm Dominic Kasulki watching the River Bandits face off against the Greenbrier Knights here on this sunny July evening. And we have Chris Brown here for the first half inning.
Back in. I already feel lost.
Already lost?
Yeah, man.
You've still been doing your kids' games. You know what you're doing.
You have taken over. The teacher has become the student.
I hope people are thinking that. We have Jay Bullock on the mound tonight. He's pitching for the River Bandits. His last start, 5 innings, pitched here in Tarboro. He's in a 2-0 count now. He gets a big swing and foul back into the backstop. He's facing off against Brody Miller, the leadoff man for the Greenbrier Knights. He's a right fielder tonight. Jay Bullock, 12 1/3 on the season. There's his 2-1, and that goes high. 3-1 on the leadoff man. Jay Bullock's last start against Wake Forest, his last 2 games against Wake Forest. The one before that was out of the pen, only pitched an inning and a third. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Big swing and popped up over to center field. In center tonight, Eston Snyder standing under it, and there he is for out number 1.
The center fielder, number 19, Scott McDonough.
Bringing up Scott McDonough, their center fielder, which last time the River Bandits played them, Scott McDonough out in center field. He's out there again tonight. He also pitched in extra innings, and he was great out there in extra innings. He stayed hitting, and he hit a double, the game-winning double in that game, as he pops up in one pitch. Third base territory, John Howard running after it, and he's under it in foul territory for out number 2 in one pitch.
It's going to be a quick session for me here.
Yeah, maybe you can stay the whole inning, maybe. Got stuff to do. Important man.
Yeah, just came in tonight to check the internet, make sure we were all up and running after some technical difficulties we had the other night. Hopefully everything's going good on the stream there for everybody at home.
No comments saying we don't have sound. So
well, everybody missed hearing you.
Yeah, I got a lot of Facebook comments not too happy that we didn't have the stream, and I was probably more frustrated than anyone else.
Yes. For those of you that didn't get to watch the game, Dom was blowing my phone up, trying to get it fixed. I promise you, we tried our hardest. That one misses high. That'll even count 1-1.
Not happy with that. I love doing the games, especially this and tomorrow night, the last 2 regular season games, and there's playoffs. So I missed the third to last game, and it was a great game against the Steamers in extra innings too.
You took it out on me for 9 innings.
Yeah, I was yelling at our PA Jake for the whole entire game, and Jason, our music guy. They were just hearing it from me. I got to show my emotions for the game more without being on the mic. Now 2-2 to the third man, Jake Tone. He's their catcher. Jay Bullock in his last start that he went 5 innings, had 7 walks. That was his main struggle. He gets
nice
a big
pitch.
swing and a miss, a sword swing, and he goes 1-2-3 in the first inning. River Bandits have Johnny Wall, Eston Snyder, and Max Bernal coming up in the bottom half of the first. We'll see you here on YouTube Live. Back here in the bottom of the first inning after Jay Bullock went 1-2-3 to start out the game. Johnny Wall now leading off for the River Bandits. He looks at a ball inside to start the River Bandit bat outing. Johnny Wall, our shortstop tonight, facing off against Zach Capps, the Greenbrier Knights pitcher for the night on the mound. That fastball misses inside, 2-0. So we had a pregame ceremony. We wish we could have got it on the microphones as well. It was down on the field. We didn't know about it until today, so we didn't end up bringing any microphones for that. Wish we could have heard it. But our head coach here in Tarboro, Coach Grant Crosby, proposed to his now fiancee, Carolyn, and they're now engaged. So great proposal. She said yes. It was a very big deal. So now 3-1 to Johnny Wall. He fouls that off his foot. Back in play, 3-2 now. Super happy for head coach Grant Crosby. Now eyes are set on a win against the Greenbrier Knights. Obviously he wants to win, but I bet he's going to feel happy tonight with a win or a loss. But tomorrow night, a massive game. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Johnny Wall hits that high into center field. Scott McDonough getting under it for out number 1. Johnny Wall flies out to the center fielder, Scott McDonough. Now Essen Snyder pops that foul. 0-1 to him. Didn't get to the defensive alignments. I was talking to our man, Chris Brown. He's helping me out because of the internet issues from the last game. So it's been a while since I've been on the mic. I've missed it. Only a couple more games tomorrow night against Outer Banks, which I can't wait to talk about last night's game in just a moment. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Snyder. That's in there. Fastball, strike 2. One and 2 to Snyder. I'll let you know about the OBX game shortly, and he just pokes that foul. Snyder moved up to second in our batting order. He's been clean up for some of the season. He's been down in the order for some of the season. He's been moved around. He's been hot and cold. He went for a 12-game hit streak not too long ago. 1 and 2. He jam shots that over the second baseman. Going to be a tough play. He's speedy. Throw to first is offline. Gets back to the catcher. Snyder's going to run back, and he's going to get an infield single. Maybe they'll rule it an error. In my book, Essen Snyder's got an infield single. Max Bernal now up at the plate, hitting .333 on the season. Has a 3-game hit streak. Snyder's over there at first. He pops it up in one pitch. Over to shortstop. Zach Will is under it for out number 2. It's a quick out from Max Bernal. He was on a 3-game hit streak. Still could obviously continue that. Phillips Daniels now at the plate. He's our cleanup hitter tonight with Snyder over there at first. He's probably going to steal. Big swing and fouled back. 0-1 to Phillips Daniels. Snyder has been very speedy on the base pads. Since Snyder on the season has 14 stolen bases as Phillips Daniels looks at that one outside. 1-1. Snyder's been picking up a lot of stolen bases as of late. They've been sending him a lot recently. That's outside. Snyder's going to get back to first. 2-1 now. Snyder has a 5-game stolen base streak. One of them he had 3 stolen bases, and last game he had 2 stolen bases. So he has been ramping it up. They've been sending him a lot. They realize how fast Snyder really is. Now Phillips Daniels. He is usually a catcher. Tonight he's an extra hitter. Looks at that one high, 3-1 to him. Phillips Daniels on the season hitting .273 with a .425 on base percentage. Here's the 3-1. He checks his swing. Gets a called strike. 3-2 now. Phillips Daniels been playing a lot more recently with the departure of Colin Hughes, who was almost an everyday player. Had a lot of departures. I'll let you know a few of those in a moment. Here's the payoff pitch. Snyder's going to go, and that is in there for strike 3. Zach Capps freezes Phillips Daniels for the 3rd out in the inning, and the River Bandits strand Snyder over there at first. That's the end of the 1st inning. We head to the 2nd as Jay Bullock looks to continue how he did in the 1st inning. We'll be back here on YouTube Live in just a moment. Jay Bullock in the 1st inning. Put him down in order, looking to do it again, starting off with Kenny Scheidel. Gets a breaking ball that doesn't break enough. Oh, it does break enough. There was a late call from the home plate umpire. Gets in there for strike 1. Kenny Scheidel, their cleanup hitter, as he gets a big swing and fouled back. 0-2 very quickly to Kenny Scheidel. He's their first baseman tonight. Quickly 0-2. Greenbrier Knights already have an error on the game. It's the 0-2 pitch, and that is just outside. 1-2. Jay Bullock only allowing 5 hits so far this season. Only 1 hit in his 5-inning start last time against the Wake Forest Fungo. Here's the 1-2. That's way outside. He yanks that. 2-2. His problem has been on the walking side, finding the zone. Like I said, 5 hits on the season, no earned runs. Does have 6 runs, but obviously some errors around the field on the defense, but 18 walks and 14 strikeouts. So if he's finding the zone, he is lethal. So he gets a popped foul, 2-2. Has 3 strikeouts his last outing in 5 innings, and then those 7 walks. So that's what really kept him from going a lot longer. Has a 0 ERA. Just hasn't had any earned runs on him. Been very strong for us as he gets a big swing and a miss for the first out in the inning.
The third baseman, number 23, Dylan Bowen.
Very bright July night here. It's very hot if you're out here in Tarboro. Only going to get hotter. Only a few games left. Now, Dylan Bowen, the third baseman, who hit a home run last time he played against the River Bandits here in Tarboro. Looking to do that once again. 1-0 to him as that's outside 2-0. Batter's only hitting .119 against Bullock this season. but they're 100% on stealing the bases against him. He has not been good at holding the runners. That's something to keep a watch out for. He had 4 stolen bases against him in 5 innings last time, and then he had 3 stolen bases against him in 1 1/3 the night before. So he gets that fastball in there for strike 1. So here's the 3-1 pitch to Dylan Bowen, trying to keep him going down in order, but that's low for ball 4. As Dylan Bowen works the walk.
The shortstop, number 17, Zach Will.
Bringing up Zach Will, he's their shortstop tonight for the Greenbrier Knights. Zach Will batting 6. He has Dylan Bowen, their third baseman, over there at first. He swings at that one, fouls it back. Greenbrier Knights on the season 3-9. One of those wins is against the River Bandits, their last game, which they won 6-5. They're looking to repeat that, take another win. Zach Will at the plate, batting 179 on the season with a 273 batting, or on base percentage, excuse me. As Bullock's breaking ball misses outside. Will has 5 hits on the season, 4 singles. He does have a home run on the season. Got a little pop in his bat, looking to do that here with Bowen on first. So that's in the dirt. Bowen's going to go, and the throw over to second. A good throw, but it's not collected from our second baseman tonight. Second baseman Sal Lamo, excuse me. So let's get those defensive alignments here after this batter. Haven't went through them yet because we have a few new players and we also have some departures that I'd like to get into. Different looking squad going into the end of the season. So after that 6-game win streak, it's not exactly what you wanted to see. He gets ground out over to shortstop. Johnny Wall scoops it up, throw over to first, over to Jack Nielsen for an out. The throw over to third, and he tags him! A double play! The 6-3-5 double play. You don't always see that, but that's how it goes here in Tarboro with a massive double play. Didn't see the vision from Dylan Bowen going to third, and Jack Nielsen hoses him down to press to John Howard at third base. That'll be the end of the second inning. A quick inning for Jay Bullock once again. Bottom of the second inning here. River Bandits get a big double play. A 6-3-5 double play. You don't always see that. Johnny Wall to Jack Nielsen. Then Dylan Bowen from second base tagged up after the ground ball to Johnny Wall. Tried going to third. Hosed down from Nielsen. John Howard places the tag for the double play. Preston Shelton now at the plate. 1-1 to him with Zach Capps on the mound for the Greenbrier Knights. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Shelton grounds that out right past Caps. Over to their second baseman, Josh Holland. Throw over to first is in time for out number 1. Cam Greenway now at the plate. Cam Greenway, one of the new additions. I couldn't get into the defensive alignments because of that crazy double play, so I promise I'll get into him next inning. Cam Greenway joined the game that we couldn't get our internet up as he looks at strike 2 on the inside corner. Greenway started out so far so good in 2 games played, a .429 batting average, 600 on base percentage. He chops that to the pitcher Caps. Throw over to first is low, and he can't scoop it. Cam Greenway gets on with an error. Another new player here. This is his first game. Here in Tarboro, his name is J.R. Lingerfelt. I'm just going to call him J.R., but wanted to give you his full name here for his first at-bat. I'm going to be calling him J.R. for the season. He's our catcher. Adding a catcher after Colin Hughes departed. Colin Hughes, one of the few departures. He fouls that out. Colin Hughes was the first. Then we had Cruz Newman, who was one of our players with a lot of pop in his bat. He left. Also have Adam Jamison leaving and Mitch Jones leaving. So lots of players departing, but a few new coming in. He hits that into center field, left center, the diving play. Scott McDonough is going to make the play. What a play from him, diving to grab it. I thought that was going to drop, get into the gap, but a great diving play from Scott McDonough. Now a familiar face, Jack Nielsen. He's over there at first base tonight. Looks at that one low, 1-0. So JR had a nicely hit ball to left center field, and Scott McDonough just covered a lot of ground and made a diving play. Got to give him credit. From what I've seen from the Greenbrier Knights, it's only the second time we've been playing them. Second time they played them all season. Scott McDonough has really been their X factor. Pitching, hitting, out in the outfield, he's been great. Jack Nielsen looks at that one for a strike, 2-1 to him. Have Cameron Greenway over there at first after a low throw from Zach Capps, the Greenbrier Knights pitcher, excuse me. Pitch home, Nielsen swings and misses at that one, 2-2. Nielsen batting .237 on the season with a .427 on base percentage. Has 18 hits, 16 of them singles, and he has 2 doubles sprinkled in there. 2-2 to him with Greenway going. He swings and fouls that out of play. Greenway's going to have to make his trot back to first. River Bandits definitely a team that sends a lot of runners. Right now it's 2 strikes, 2 outs, so you're really going to send them either way. See if Caps is looking at that. Does not, as that is in there. Freezes Jack Nielsen, the second backwards K of the game for Zach Caps. And that'll be the end of the second inning. Jay Bullock coming out, trying to continue what he's doing. He's went through 6 batters in order. Corbin McLeod leading off here in the top of the third inning. It's been a quick couple of innings. Some of these games have been lasting very long here recently in Tarboro. A few extra inning games. Jay Bullock continuing on the mound. He throws that one in the dirt for ball one to lead off the third inning. He's went through 6 batters. Got that luxury because of a wild double play. So this is the 7th batter, McLeod. Looks at that one just low, 2-0. Bullock's 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Trying to keep that streak going of no earned runs against him. It's 2-1 to McLeod. That just misses outside. A close pitch. Outside corner. Catching tonight, J.R. Lingerfelt. J.R. trying to get that frame in there. Just couldn't get the call. Here's the 3-1. And that is just in there. A little delayed call. A couple delays from the home plate umpire. And the batter, McLeod, really thought he had a walk. He started to go, delayed, and then started to go once again. Here's the payoff pitch from Bullock, and that is outside. McLeod works the lead-off walk. Bringing up Colt Cundiff, their designated hitter. Colt Cundiff hitting .200 on the season with a .333 on-base percentage. He hits that into left field. Our left fielder tonight trying to get to it, and Preston Shelton cannot do it as it's hit into very shallow left field. Johnny Wall tried going out there as well. Could not get to it. Now 2 on and no outs here in the third inning. Just a unfortunate jammed ball into left field. It's a shallow hit ball. Our catcher, J.R. Lingerfelt, going to talk to him. So I'll come with the defensive alignments here as first base tonight, Jack Nielsen. At second, Sal Amo. At third base, John Howard. At shortstop, Johnny Wall. Catching tonight, JR. Pitching, Jay Bullock. From left to right, Preston Shelton, Essen Snyder, and Cam Greenway. Here's the pitch home, and that's upstairs. 1-0. In a little bit of trouble here with no outs. And that pitch is on the outside corner. Having trouble depicting whether this home plate umpire calls a strike or not. He's very delayed with it, and he doesn't do an outward motion. Does it forward. I'm really trying to make sure, calling it right. Here's the 1-1 pitch as that's flied out into foul territory. Lamo trying to get to it, but it goes into the bullpen. One and two. Cloud's the extra hitter. Trying to do what he's meant to do tonight. Just hit. 2 on, no out. The 1-2. That breaking ball sails high. JR looks down at first base, trying to maybe catch a runner slacking. Right when I mentioned how fast the game was going, we get a couple runners on and a slower paced inning from Bullock. But here's the 2-2. That fastball's in there. He freezes him for strike 3. First out of the inning. Big strikeout from Jay Bullock.
The second baseman, number 26, Josh Holland.
Bringing up Josh Holland. Jay Bullock at Brunswick Community College with a .433 ERA, 1 win, 2 losses, and 13 appearances. Pitch great here for the River Bandits. Here's his pitch home, and that hits the dirt. JR blocks that off, keeps those runners. We're at first and second, keeps a double play in store. Here's the 1-0. Second baseman Lamo going to cover second just in case runner goes. Going back to his spot. Sets foul it back, 1-1. Happy to be back on tonight. This game, obviously very meaningful. All the games are, but tomorrow's night game against OBX, super meaningful. That'll depict whether the River Bandits get the 2 or the 3 seed. I'll mention that a lot tomorrow. I'll probably mention it a few more times tonight, just how big that game is. Here's the 1-0, or the 1-1, excuse me. 1-2 now. Knights already have 2 errors on the game. River Bandits have none, but still a 0-0 ball game. So the River Bandits don't have a hit on the scoreboard just yet. Knights got their first with that shallow hit into left field. That pitch is low, 2-2. Bullock, as I mentioned, has a little bit of the struggle with the control. For the most part, he's been great. Trying to stay out of that lane this inning, but he's in a full count here. At the bottom of the order, Josh Holland, not trying to bring it back to the top with the bases loaded and 1 out. Here's the payoff pitch from Bullock. Breaking ball just spoiled off. Great job from Holland to get a piece of that. A late swing, trying to just stay alive. So a full count, trying to keep the bases from being loaded. Josh Holland at the plate. Here's the pitch home from Bullock. Payoff pitch, and that's fouled back once again. A long at bat here from Josh Holland, their second baseman. Holland already has an error this game. Along with the pitcher, excuse me, Zach Capps. He had a low throw over to first. Nothing coming from either of those errors. Here's the payoff pitch from Bullock after he looks at second. Runner's going to go. No strikeout, but the throw over to second. Going to tag him, and he is safe. Bases are now loaded after the walk of the 10-hitter Josh Holland. Coach Grant Crosby coming out to have a word with him. Don't think his night is done, as it's still pretty early in this game, and he looked great through the first 2. Infield coming in to talk to him as well. Got a double play last inning. Double play would be much appreciated here. Excuse me, Carson Walker. What are you referring to by what is this? That could mean plenty of different things. So bases loaded after the mound visit. Coach Crosby trying to calm him down along with the whole infield. Looking for another double play ball. Already has one of those tonight. Bringing up their right fielder, leadoff hitter, Brody Miller. Brody Miller hitting 175 on the season with a .312 batting average. Has 7 hits, 6 singles, and a double. Jay Bullock looking to get back on the mound. Umpire is having a talk with a third base coach. And the lefty hitter, righty-lefty matchup with Jay Bullock. Here's the first pitch of the at-bat as that's popped up. Much needed in foul territory. JR trying to get under it, and he is under it right before the top of the stadium. A quick out for Jay Bullock. Big out. JR getting some cheers from the stadium, from the fans at the stadium. So definitely a big play there. Now don't even need the double play, just a quick out of Scott McDonough, who I mentioned has really been their X factor. Breaking ball that just misses upstairs, 1-0. Nowhere for Scott McDonough to go. Can't walk him. Greenbrier trying to get on the board first here in the top of the third inning against Jay Bullock, who looked very sharp through the first two. Here's a 1-0 pitch to McDonough. Big swing and a miss. Gets past him. 1-1 with the bases loaded. That's outside. Good catch from JR. Keep it from going to the backstop. Would have been the first run of the game. Two and one to Scott McDonough. He made a great catch earlier. There's a pitch. It's grounded out over to John Howard. He bobbles it, and there's going to be no play, and a run gets home. A hard hit ball from Scott McDonough brings home the first run of the ball game for the Greenbrier Knights. Pitch home is upstairs, 1-0. We have Jake Tone, the catcher, again with the bases loaded. Greenbrier Knights just brought home a run from a Scott McDonough hard hit ball, smoked over to John Howard at third, and he just couldn't get it in time. Made a bobble after he was trying to retain himself after the first bobble. 2-0. Nowhere to put him. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's inside, 3-0 now. Just talking about that walk ratio to hits. 5 hits, 18 walks before this game. And could come into play here with the bases loaded. 3-0 count to Jake Tone, their catcher. Here's the pitch. Big swing. Can't get to it, 3-1. Third inning, Jay Bullock trying to keep the damage to a minimum. Been a much longer inning after I jinxed it, saying the game has been going by a little bit faster. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That is inside. Tone has to back away from it. It's going to bring the second run of the ball game home for the Knights, 2-0 after a walk. Jake Tone. The bases are going to stay loaded for the cleanup hitter, Kenny Shadell. Really good crowd here in Tarboro. It was pretty quiet here until about 6:30, and the crowd started coming up. Thrown to the backstop. Runner's going to go home. The throw over to Bullock. The tag, and he is safe. Nice try from JR to throw it to Bullock. Bullock trying to cover home plate after a breaking ball that got out of his hands. Runner's now going to be on second and third. 3-0 Greenbrier Knights. So Bullock's first earned runs coming in this game here against the Knights. Here's the 1-0 pitch and another one that she yanked outside. Still curious on what Carson Walker meant in the chat. What is this? I'd love to try to explain whatever you're curious about. Kenny Scheidel still at the plate, a big framed righty hitter. Looks like he has some pop in his bat. It's 2-0. That's fouled, out of play, 2-1. Scheidel hitting 244, 354 on base percentage. He does have a home run. I was hoping I didn't look and he didn't have a home run after I mentioned he had some pop in his bat. On the season, the Greenbrier Knights 3-8, the River Bandits, Greenbrier Knights 3-9, River Bandits 20-15. So that pitch, fastball gets in there, strike 2. Needs an out here. Can't let it get to 5-0. A 3-0 game is definitely still winnable, and 5-0, you can't say it's not winnable either with the way the River Bandit bats have had some games. But right now, Zach Capps looking really good on the mound, and you don't want it to get more than 3. Here's the 2-2. That's bobbled out of JR, but his glove, he gets back to it, and runner's going to stay put. 3-2 now. First base is open. Big pitch here to try to get out of the inning. Payoff pitch, flied out to right field. Cam Greenway trying to get under it, and he does right outside of the line at right field, and that'll be the end of the third inning. River Bandits strand 2 on second and third, but 3 do come in for the Greenbrier Knights. That'll be the end of the top half of the third. We'll come back. River Bandits trying to get on the board here on YouTube Live. Sal Lamo leading off the bottom of the third inning here in Tarboro Municipal Stadium. A new addition to the River Bandit squad from Barton College. Here's the pitch home. He has a big swing and a miss on that one to start the inning. Facing off against a new pitcher. Zach Capps taken out of the game pretty early. Zach Capps was looking good, but now Bryce Burchett on the mound as Lamo pops that up to their second baseman, Josh Holland, and the right fielder, Brody Miller, coming in to take over that out. John Howard now at the plate. John Howard made that error over there at third, and I said Jay Bullock had his first earned runs come in. I was wrong. John Howard had the error at third, so he didn't have that as he scorches it down the third base line, and Dylan Bowen can't get to it. Tries to jump up, catch the liner, but it gets past his glove. John Howard held to a single after it was scorched too hard to Nick Cleghorn at left. John Howard with the big hit. That pitch is upstairs, 2-0 now. With John Howard over there at first after he scorched that down the third base line. He hits that into center field. Scott McDonough under it for out number 2. Quick out of Johnny Wall, bringing up Eston Snyder. Eston Snyder now at the plate. With John Howard at first, 2 outs. Snyder trying to bring him home. He looks at that one inside. A close pitch there from him. Here's the 1-0, and that in there for strike 1. Snyder's second in our batting order. He's our center fielder tonight. He scorches that down the third base line to the left fielder, Nick Cleghorn. He can't get to it, and another hit ball past their third baseman all the way to Nick Cleghorn. Hit way too hard once again. Max Bernal now at the plate, a righty-lefty matchup with Snyder over there at first, John Howard at second after they both hit it to left field all the way to the wall. Nick Cleghorn having a lot of work to do this inning. Would be cool, Max Bernal, who has been very hot recently, 3-game hitting streak. He could bring a run home or maybe all the runs home. Cool if he got one over the wall. Had 2 hits, 3 hits, and 1 hit in the last 3 games. Looking to add on to that. He pops that out of play with 1-1. Phelps Daniels on deck. Bryce Burchett with only 6 2/3 innings pitched for the Greenbrier Knights. All out of the pen. He went 5 innings last time out of the pen against the Scallywags. As that hits Bernal. So Bernal on with a hit by pitch as he's been hit a good amount this season. He's been good at getting hit. Bringing up Phillips Daniels with the bases loaded. Phillips Daniels has had this opportunity before. He's brought home a few runs with the bases loaded this season. Looking to do it again. So he looks at that one in there. Looked right at the top of the zone if it was in there. Chance for the River Bandits to get back into it, respond. But Daniels down 0-2 very quickly here. Max Bernal over at first, Snyder at second, and at third, John Howard. 2 hard hit balls and a hit by pitch. 0-2 to Daniels, and that is upstairs. Daniels with a good take, trying to find the pitch he wants. He's going to have to stay alive, might have to foul a couple balls off. 1-2 to him from Burchett. He fouls that down the third base line. Would have been a tough play if it was fair. Third baseman Dylan Bowen might have had to play at home. That might have been the easiest play if it stayed fair. But it stays 1-2 to Daniels with Preston Shelton on deck. Daniels trying to work back in this at bat. 2 hits now for the Bandits. Here's the pitch home. That's outside. Good take and nice pitch from Burchett. Trying to get a swing and a miss. Trying to get him to chase at it. Here's the 2-2 with the bases loaded to Phillips Daniels. He pops that up to right field. Could be a tough play. And Brody Miller is under it for out number 3 in foul territory, and that'll be the end of the third inning. River Bandits strand them loaded. Here's Jay Bullock leading off on the mound. Not necessarily leading off, but he's on the mound here for the 4th consecutive inning. In an 0-1 count, but that one's low. 1-1 now. Number 23, Dylan Bowen, who hit a home run in the last outing against the River Bandits. He's at the plate in a 1-1 count. 3-0 ball game. Here's the pitch home. That's outside. 2-1. Jay Bullock still doesn't have any earned runs to his name after that error from third baseman tonight, John Howard. And that fastball just misses. That looked like it was in the zone. Must have been a little outside. Dylan Bowen at the plate. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Big swing, going for the fences, but can't get to it. The fastball gets past him. It's a hot, windy night here in Tarboro. They're trying to make a comeback, as they have many times this season. Here's the payoff pitch, and that is in there for strike 3. Another frozen batter, this time Dylan Bowen for the first out of the inning.
Zach Will.
Bringing up Zach Will, their shortstop. First pitch to him is on the outside corner, strike one. Zach Will today is 0 for 1. He's looking to get on base. 0-1 to him is yanked outside. River Bandits on the 22nd lost the Greenbrier Knights 5-6. Lost in the bottom of the ninth. They had a chance to come back in that game. 1-2 after the big swing and a miss from Zach Will. Scott McDonough singled with a line drive to center field for the game-winning run as that breaking ball just misses outside. A close pitch. McDonough made the game 6-5 there in the top of the ninth, and nothing else came of it. River Bandits went down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the ninth, trying to come back in that game. As Will works it back full, now 3-2. Bernal had 2 hits that game. Johnny Wall had a hit that game. Snyder had 1 hit. Nielsen and Saunders both had a hit. So not too much hitting going on in that game. Same can be said for this game as Bullock throws a walk here after getting the strikeout to lead off the 4th inning. Now a walk to Zach Will.
The EH number 11, Corbin McLeod.
Brings up their extra hitter, Corbin McLeod. McLeod has a walk, a strikeout, and a run already. He fouls that into the netting towards their dugout. He has Zach Will on first base, trying to add on to that 3-0 lead of the Knights. So I was going to mention the OBX game last night. That went into extra innings, which a few games have went into extra innings recently. This one into 10 innings. Runner's going to go. Throw over from JR. The tag, and he is out. A great throw from JR. He's looking sharp in his first game here. A perfectly placed ball into another new addition, Sal Lamo. And yeah, exactly. A great tag, as said from our PA, Jake. Great throw from JR and a great tag from Sal Lamo. Two and one now as that fastball gets in there. Strike 2. No runner on first anymore. Now 2 outs. Could go 1-2-3. Here's the 2-2 pitch to McLeod. Trying to get out of this inning. Ground out over to Lamo. Throw over to first to Jack Nielsen is in time for out number 3. So a bounce back inning for Jay Bullock. Great job from him. And a great caught stealing throw from JR and a tag from Sal Lamo. River Bandits really trying to get those bats going. They had 2 hits and a hit by pitch last inning. Left them stranded with the bases loaded. So they're going to try to come back and score some runs this inning. We'll be back in just a moment. Preston Shelton's leading off here in the bottom of the fourth. He's our left fielder tonight. Been playing third base for most of the season. As he scorches that into center field, Scott McDonough makes a bad read on it, runs back, thought it was hit harder. Comes back, and it drops right in front of his feet for a single to lead off the inning for Preston Shelton. Preston Shelton over there at first. Cameron Greenway now at the plate. He's our right fielder. As I mentioned, he's a new addition. He's been playing great. Last night he did have a walk and 3 strikeouts, but his first game was a lot better. He grounds that to the third baseman, a double play chance, but they're only going to get Preston Shelton at second with the fielder's choice. Dylan Bowen throws it over to second to get Preston Shelton out, but it was not hit hard enough. JR at the plate, the umpire coming out. First place umpire now ready for the pitch. Bryce Burchett still on the mound. Cam Greenway now at first after the fielder's choice from Dylan Bowen. 1-0 to JR. JR is our catcher tonight. He just made that wonderful throw over to second to Sal Lamo. He's made 2 good throws. One of them was not scooped up. Here's the 1-0 to him, and that's inside, 2-0. JR hit one into left center, his first at bat, but Scott McDonough made a crazy play, made a lot of ground up, and made a diving grab for it. He scorches that one once again, but this is foul. He's early on it, all the way into the dugout. JR getting his barrel to the bat early here for the River Bandits in his first game. And he's already showing out, showcasing his arm behind the plate. Some good pop time. He scorches it again just early. He's continuing to get his barrel onto the ball. Two and two now to him. It's Cam Greenway at first. Can only think he's going to end up with a hit here after this nice at bat. And he just does it with a bloop single over to right field. Cam Greenway is going to stop at second. Looked like he was going to round. Get back at second, and he does. Oh, my goodness. He was sleeping there for a second. Jack Nielsen now at the plate, as you just really felt JR was going to get a hit there the way he was seeing Bryce Burchett and his pitches, and Cam Greenway almost got caught rounding second, almost got caught just standing there. Burchett's first pitch is upstairs to Nielsen. So 1-0 to Nielsen with 2 on, 1 out. Nielsen looks at that one inside, almost clips him. 2-0. Nielsen last night against the Scallywags had a hit and a walk. Everything was crucial in that game. Still want to get more into it. Nielsen pops that out of play, 2-1. River Bandits scored 3 in the 10th inning last night against the Scallywags. That was big. It was a much-needed win. If they didn't get that win, they were locked in at the 3 seed for the playoffs. And I'll tell you how the playoffs are going to be operated this year. It's a little weird, a little different. Here's a pitch home to Nielsen. That's in there on the outside black, 2-2. So 2-2 to Nielsen, trying to get on. Here's the pitch home. And he pops that in foul territory. First baseman Kenny Scheidel trying to run it down, and he cannot. Almost a great play from him. Behind or over his head type of play, but he can't get to it. It stays 2-2. Jack Nielsen still with a chance to get on this at bat. Looking to get the bases loaded for the second inning in a row. Really trying to bring someone in this time. Super happy to be back on the stream tonight. Very frustrating not being able to get that game against the Steamers on this past Tuesday. So it's been since last Saturday that I had a game streamed here, because Tuesday was the only home game in between that. So that was very unfortunate not to get it on. Luckily, internet is back up and running. Full count to Jack Nielsen, trying to get back into this ball game. Here's the payoff pitch, and that is inside. Oh, he rings him up. Jack Nielsen goes down looking, a late call as that looked inside.
The second baseman, number 31, Sal.
Sal Lamo now at the plate with runners on second and third. He pops that up in one pitch, but it's going to be out of play. So 0-1 to Lamo, trying to bring these runners home, make it a 3-2 ball game. Lamo, our second baseman tonight. He hits that into shallow right. Could be a tough play, and it's not. Brody Miller runs it down for out number 3. River Bandits strand him on second and third. So now 5 left on base already. Actually 6. I think we left one on in the first inning, so 6 left on base. And Jay Bullock coming out, trying to do his thing once again in the 5th inning. We'll be back in just a moment. Colt Cundiff is leading off in the top of the 5th inning as Dawson Wiggins coming in relief of Jay Bullock. Dawson Wiggins, a relief pitcher here for the River Bandits. He had one start this season, which was his last start, which was against the Greenbrier Knights here in Tarboro. It's a swing and a miss on his first pitch. Had a solid outing, 4 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs. Did have 6 walks, 3 strikeouts. River Bandits in general have just been struggling with walking batters. It's been a big difference maker in their winning games this season as Dawson Wiggins in 3 pitches gets a big strikeout of the leadoff man, Colt Cundiff.
The left fielder, number 4, Nick Cleghorn.
River Bandits pitchers are just nobody's unhittable, but teams are having a tough time hitting against them. But when we're not finding the zone, we're getting runners on, and we'll end up having more hits than the other team a lot of the time and end up losing the game because our hitters will get on, and we've had a lot of games after the All-Star break leaving tons of runners on, and I think it's really happened throughout the season. And it's just not being able to get those runs home and having more hits than the other team but still losing, I think, has to do with the walks on the pitching side and not being able to bring the runners home, leaving them on base. As that's hit right back at Dawson Wiggins into center field. Eston Snyder getting to it.
The second baseman, number 26, Josh Holland.
So a single for Nick Cleghorn, the left fielder, bringing up Josh Hall and their second baseman. As I forgot to mention when I was talking about our departures, we also had Ethan Barnes leaving the squad as he got hit in the back of the helmet with a pitch against the Greenbrier Knights. And he's had a few concussions, so that's really a precautionary thing. It's not one to get another concussion as he's out for the season now, and he was getting so hot. He was hitting the ball very, very well. He was getting his barrel to the bat almost every plate appearance, and it's really tough to lose a guy like that. And then also losing Colin Hughes, who was really put in as a extra hitter, a designated hitter a lot of nights, even if he wasn't catching. And then Cruz Newman, who had the most home runs on the team. So a lot of players lost that had a big impact of getting those runners in. And that's when we went on that 6-game win streak right after the All-Star break. And after that, it's been kind of back and forth. Now 20-15. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's upstairs. 2-1 now. After the 6-game win streak, they went loss to the Steamers, win to the Fungo, loss to the Knights, win to the Clovers, 2 consecutive losses, one to the Scallywags and the Steamers, and then a win against the Scallywags last night. So now they're playing the Greenbrier Knights down 3-0, and it's just not consistent with winning games like it was during that 6-game win streak. They have been close games, though. The Scallywag and Steamer lost. The 2 most recent losses have been 6-8 against the Edenton Steamers, which ended in 11 innings. So a long game there. And then 5-6 versus the Outer Banks Scallywags, also in 11 innings. So 2 long games. That's scorched down the left field line, and that's going to drop fair. Left fielder Preston Shelton trying to get to it. Runner might come home as he's having a tough time getting to it. The throw from the plate, Johnny Wall, throw over, and that's not going to be in time. He slides in safely. An RBI double from Josh Holland to bring home Nick Cleghorn all the way from first base.
Right fielder, number 5, Brody Miller.
Brings up the leadoff man, Brody Miller. Dawson Wiggins got a 3-pitch strikeout. Then a man got on, and Nick Cleghorn and Josh Holland just ripped it down the left field line. Preston Shelton was not hugging the line much and took a long time to get there. He's usually our third baseman. Now 1-0 to the leadoff man, Brody Miller. This is a 1-0 pitch to him, and that is in there. Nice fastball from Dawson Wiggins. Make it 1-1. One pitch to Miller. Hits the outside corner. Great pitch from Wiggins. 1-2. Trying to strand that man at second. Keep it 4-0 because this game is definitely not over. Dawson Wiggins breaking ball. Hits the outside corner again for strike 2. Or strike 3, that is a strikeout. Looked like Brody Miller was staying in the box. He was not happy with that call. Big strikeout from Wiggins. The second out of the inning. Bringing up Scott McDonough. Windy night here in Tarboro. Lights are starting to come on. Two outs with Scott McDonough at the plate. 4-0 ball game. Wiggins just allowed his first run of the game as he gets a big swing from Scott McDonough. He can't get to it. Some high heat from Dawson Wiggins, and McDonough trying to swing for the fences. Can't get his barrel to it. Right now, McDonough 0 for 2. He pops that into shallow center. Going to be a tough play. Johnny Wall gets to it in time for out number 3. Great job from him getting to it, as Essen Snyder didn't look like he was going to get to it in time. That'll be the end of the top half of the 5th. It's John Howard and then Johnny Wall are leading off in the bottom of the 5th, trying to come back from this 4-0 deficit. River Bandits do have more hits, but they're down 4-0. We'll see you here on YouTube Live in just a moment. John Howard now leading off here in the bottom of the 5th inning with Bryce Burchett on the mound. Burchett's been in a couple jam situations, but he's gotten out of them. Stranded the bases loaded and stranded the bases with second and third. So he's done his job getting out of innings. He has John Howard, who got a hit against him in his first at-bat. 2-0 now to Howard, though. Howard hit it right past Dylan Bowen's glove, all the way to the left field wall, and Nick Leghorn got to it very fast as John Howard tries to do it again, tries to rip at it. Can't get to it. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and that's upstairs. John Howard working a nice at-bat here. On deck, we'll switch it back to the top of the batting order and Johnny Wall. Here's the pitch, and he just gets a piece of it, but fouls it down the first base line. John Howard now with a 122 batting average on the season. Has a 2-game hitting streak and a double tonight, a double last night, and a double the night before. He pops that up in foul territory. And the catcher, Jake Tone, cannot get to it. He tries to make a sliding grab, but it stays 3-2, and we'll do it again. Looked like first baseman Kenny Scheidel thought that was going to be over on top of the stadium. He might have had a play at that if he charged it, but he didn't, and the catcher Jake Tone took a late charge at it, couldn't get to it. Still 3-2. It's John Howard, 3 games in a row with a hit. Two of them doubles tonight, a single, trying to keep it up. Here's a 3-2, and that is low. John Howard works a leadoff walk. Big to bring it back to the top of the order with a man on first base and no outs. Johnny Wall now at the plate, hitting .329 on the season, .432 on base percentage. He's been one of our most reliable guys. 24 hits, 16 singles, and 8 doubles. No home runs yet. That gets the backstop, gets past Jake Tone. John Howard's going to jog into second safely. Eston Snyder on deck in the hole, Max Bernal. So we have a lot of good hitters coming up. Whole order is full of good hitters. Just needs to string the hits together, get together as Johnny Wall hits that into shallow right, and that's going to drop. John Howard getting to third safely as he stood in the middle of second and third, trying to make sure it wasn't going to get thrown out with a double play. Having a short meeting on the mound here. Shortstop Zach Will talking to him. Eston Snyder. Eston Snyder with runners on the corners, no outs. As he looks at that ball, and that gets in there. That looked inside. Inside corner has been getting called here for both teams, both pitchers, not any bias. It's been called a few times. Snyder looks at that one in the zone. That was down the heart of it. He's down 0-2 very quickly. Here's the 0-2. Snyder grounds it foul. Johnny Wall looked like he wanted to go. So the lights are on. It's getting bright here in the stadium. I'm going to make that a little bit darker for you guys. Make sure it's not hurting your eyes. Sun just setting. Here's the 0-2 to Snyder as he hits that sky high into left center field. Scott McDonough having a tough play at it, and he drops it. Nick Cleghorn drops it. Johnny Wall going to get called out at second, thinking that was going to be an easy play, but it does bring a run home with a sacrifice error from Eston Snyder. Max Bernal hitting now. Eston Snyder at first. Snyder just popped that up to left center field. I thought Scott McDonough was going to take it over. Nick Cleghorn called it off, and then he dropped it. They threw it over to second in time to get Johnny Wall out as he scorches that down the right field line. Is it going to drop fair? And it's foul. Max Bernal, as I mentioned earlier, with a hot bat. He's also been a pitcher here in these long extra inning games. You can't use all your arms. You don't want to tire him out for the playoffs as we're just right around the corner. Tomorrow's night's the last game of the regular season here in Tarboro, last game in general of the regular season. You can't use all your arms. Got to have them ready for the playoffs. So we put some position players out there, and Max Bernal has showed out. He has been great. Pitching-wise, he's pitched an inning in the third against the Knights and then 2 innings against the Steamers in extra innings. Only 1 earned run throughout that, 2 hits with the Steamers. He has 7 strikeouts in just that short time as he hits that jam shot into center field. Scott McDonough trying to run it down, and he gets to it. Throw over to first. Snyder's going to get back there in time. Now 2 outs. Max Bernal pops that into center. Phillips Daniels. He's our extra hitter tonight. Sometimes a catcher. Snyder's going to go. Daniels looks at that one, and there's no throw from Jake Tone. Here's the pitch home as Phillips gets a ball called there. Same spot, gets the strike call. Wow. Looks like the same spot for all 3 pitches. 2 of them strikes, 1 of them a ball. They all looked inside. As I mentioned, the inside corner on the righty hitter is getting called very frequently, and that one can't get called. Almost hits him in the hand. 2-2. Here's the pitch from Burchett. Grounded out to the first baseman. Kenny Scheidel gets to it and tags the bag for out number 3. Snyder gets stranded on the bases. Another one stranded for the River Bandits, but they do put up 1 after Eston Snyder's pop fly into left center is dropped from Nick Cleghorn. At the end of the 5th inning, 4-1 in Greenbrier Knights, heading into the 6th. We'll see you in just a moment here on YouTube Live. Dawson Wiggins still on the mound in relief of Jay Bullock as he spikes that one in the dirt for the first pitch. Jake Tone at the plate now. He's their catcher. Righty-lefty matchup to him, 1-0. 4-1 Greenbrier Knights are winning as he goes down. Not goes down, but has a big swing and a miss for strike 1. Here's the 1-1. It's just outside. 2-1 now. Dawson Wiggins does have a run against him as the ball scorched to left field. Nick Cleghorn scored after Josh Holland scorched that to left field, and Nick Cleghorn was on first base, so it was hit really, really hard to the left field wall and just to the corner. Preston Shelton couldn't get to it. Here's a 3-1, and that is going to be low. A leadoff walk here for Jake Tone to get it started in the 6th inning.
The first baseman, number 24, Kenny Scheidel.
Kenny Scheidel, their cleanup hitter with Jake Tone at first and no outs. Not a good start to the 6th inning, trying to come back. River Bandits did add a run last inning. Going to need to add more than that. Keep it at 4 for the Greenbrier Knights. That breaking ball is nasty. It looked like it was going to hit Kenny Scheidel. Came back into the strike zone, 0-1. Looking for a double play ball here. We've already got one this game, an unconventional one, but a double play at that. That sails high, 1-1. Greenbrier Knights trying to go 2-0 on the season against the River Bandits. Here's a 1-1 that's missed, but it's all the way back to the backstop. Gets out of JR's glove. Also lost a little bit of sight on it as the swing and a miss popped out of his glove. So now 1-2, but the runner at first in Jake Tone gets into second safely. The 1-2 pitch. Shadell hits it hard at Johnny Wall. Would have been a double play ball. The throw over to first. Jack Nielsen scoops it, and no, he drops it. Runners are going to be on the corners now with no outs. Big time low throw that just wasn't scooped up from Jack Nielsen. It was a tough play from Johnny Wall in general and a tough play for Jack Nielsen to scoop that up as it was a bit of a low throw. So now runners on the corners, no outs with Dylan Bowen, who hit that home run with the Greenbrier Knights the first time. First game, not this game. So 0-1 to Bowen. 0-1 to Bowen here. Runner's going to go. Throw over to second. A nice throw to the tag, and he drops it. And it looked like Sal Lamo and the runner at first, Kenny Scheidel, collided, and it made Lamo drop the ball, and they both kind of hurt themselves on the play. It's like they're both getting up. Seems like they're okay. But it led Lamo just a little bit too far with a throw from JR. If he would have held on to it, would have been really perfect as it was leading into the runner Scheidel and would have put the tag on him, been out. But tough to hold on to it when a big man like Kenny Scheidel is running at you and you drop the ball on the tag. So now both runners in scoring position with no outs. 0-2 to Dylan Bowen. Gets a big swing and a miss for strike three, the first out of the inning, much needed. Keep this inning at a minimum of runs, trying to keep it at no runs. So a big strikeout of Bowen, who's been a great hitter for the Knights. Brings up the shortstop Zach Will on deck, the extra hitter Corbin McLeod. Dawson Wiggins hoping to only see those two. That's inside to Zach Will, 1-0. Dawson Wiggins staying composed on the mound with that big strikeout of Dylan Bowen. Now a big batter trying to strike out another or pop him up. He gets a fastball down the heart of the plate for strike one against Zach Will. Dawson Wiggins trying to do his thing. 1-1. Big swing. Can't get to it. 1-2.
Keep throwing it, kid.
Big strikeout opportunity with Zach Will at the plate down 1-2. 3 hits for the Knights, trying to keep it that way. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Wiggins, and that sails high. 2-2. Zach Will at the plate, looking at the 2-2 pitch, and it's swung and fouled back into the backstop off of JR's helmet. Good job staying alive from Will. Dawson Wiggins looks like he might want a new baseball, and that's exactly what he's going to get. New baseball from JR behind the plate. Camera angle stayed intact. Beautiful skies here with the sun now set and the lights on. Such a beautiful stadium here in Tarboro. Here's the 2-2. Spikes it off the dirt. 3-2 now. First base is open, so a walk wouldn't kill you. You obviously don't want it. You want the strikeout when you're up in the count 1-2. So payoff pitch coming from Wiggins with men on second and third. First base open. Here's the pitch. That sails high. Zach Will's going to work the walk, working it back from 1-2. Bringing up Corbin McLeod, their extra hitter, with the bases loaded and only one out. And it looks like there's work in the bullpen. Camden Martindale is the man. At least that's what it seems. Always a tough angle with the polls. Having a meeting on the mound with Dawson Wiggins. Don't know if his night is done or they're going to let him try to play through this, get out of his own jam. Music is playing. Don't want to get copyrighted. If you're new here, we try to mute ourselves during the music. So we'll be back once the music is done playing and the meeting is over. Corbin McLeod, their extra hitter, is up to bat with the bases loaded. Dawson Wiggins getting a chance to get out of it. I think if he gets or throws a walk or a hit, I think this might be his last batter as that's inside 1-0. Does it look like it was Martindale? It might not be. Could be wrong. It might have switched men out. Looks like it might be Leighton Dupree now. Here's the 1-0 as that breaking ball gets in there. Strike one. Good pitch from Wiggins. One and one. That hits the dirt. Good stop from JR. 2-1 now. Nowhere for the runner to go, or the batter to go. The bases are loaded. Trying to keep it 4-1. Dawson Wiggins has the ability to. Dawson Wiggins from Ferrum Panthers with a 7.84 ERA. He yanks that one. 3-1 now. Going to have to pound the strike zone. They're going to have to make McLeod swing at it. Can't walk him home, or I can only imagine bullpen is going to come in and try to get out of it with a different pitcher. Here's the 3-1. Big swing and a miss. 3-2. Threw a nasty breaking ball to McLeod. Needs to strike out here or a pop-up, trying to keep that sac fly out of play. Double play would also be very much liked. It's fouled out of the stadium. Full count. Wiggins looks at the sign from JR. Here's the payoff pitch to McLeod. Grounded out over to John Howard. Throw over to second to Lamo. Throw over to first, and it's in time for the double play. A 5-4-3 double play as the runner, or the batter, Corbin McLeod, must have hurt himself running up the line because he might have beat it out, but he was limping up the line. So a big double play to get out of the inning. Great job from Dawson Wiggins, and a great job from the infielders John Howard, Sal Lamo, and at first, Jack Nielsen. We'll see you here in the bottom of the sixth inning. River Bandits bats have a chance to get back in this game after Dawson Wiggins gets out of that bases loaded jam. Preston Shelton leading off the inning here. Shelton last night had 2 hits, 2 RBIs, a walk, and a stolen base. So a big night from him against the Outer Banks Scallywags in that much-needed win. Biggest game of the season there, and that's leading to the biggest game of the season tomorrow night. Shelton hits that back over to the second baseman. Josh Holland grabs it off the line drive from Preston Shelton.
The right fielder, number 21, Cam Greenway.
Cam Greenway now at the plate. Preston Shelton with a line out over to the second baseman. Cam Greenway backs out of that one, almost gets hit. Cam Greenway at the plate with JR on deck. 4-1 ball game. Greenway swings for the fences and misses that one. 1-1 to Greenway. River Bandits trying to get something going after the defense is picking them up. A couple double plays have gotten them out of some jams. Greenway looks at that one. Oh, that's in there. Top left corner of the zone. 1-2 to him. Chad Greenway just spoils that one. Stays 1-2. Greenway from Lenoir Community College had 22 games played with a .323 batting average and 11 RBIs. Had 15 runs and 6 stolen bases. Didn't have any home runs. He hits that one, fouls it off again. Had a .444 on base percentage. So Cam Greenway was really good in his games played at Lenoir Community. He also has a teammate here, Kevin Jones, at Lenoir Community. Kevin Jones not playing tonight. He is transferring over to UNCW. So he's moving in over there. Can't come to the game tonight. 1-2 to Greenway. He hits that hard into center field. McDonough running back at it, makes a diving grab, but he makes the play. A wonderful play from McDonough as he has made a couple here tonight. JR now at the plate. He's behind the plate tonight for us as once again, he is continuing to be early on the ball, but he's getting to this pitcher, Bryce Burchett. He sees his pitches very well, but unfortunately, it's been early on him. And this time he pops it up. Could be a play for the third baseman, and Dylan Bowen cannot get to him. Hits the top of the stadium, but JR is down in the count, 0-2. South Philly Dave, our new second baseman here, Sal Lamo. Salvatore's full name. Here's the 0-2 to JR. He holds up on that one. 1-2 as that one was low. We also have Kevin Jones, who I just mentioned with Lenoir Community, going over to UNCW. He's played second in his couple games back here in Tarboro. A couple of new second basemen. Here's the 0-2. He grounds that out down the first base line. It's going to go foul. On deck, Jack Nielsen. Already 2 outs. JR trying to get on the bases. Here's the 1-2. He hits that into left field. Nick Cleghorn is right there for out number 3. JR has been getting his barrel on the ball, but hasn't been rewarded too much. He does have a hit this game. Right there, lines it out to Nick Cleghorn at left. So that'll be the end of the 6th. River Bandits still down 4-1 in this game. Have 9 outs remaining heading into the 7th inning. We'll be back here on YouTube Live. You're watching the Tarboro River Bandits. another new addition to the River Bandits. We have a new pitcher on the mound, Carter Raper. Have not seen him on the squad yet. This is his first day. His first pitch goes down low for ball one. When we were getting him on Sideline HD, he did not have his number yet. He's now number 33. I'll have to edit that after the game. For now on Sideline HD, he's number 002. Facing off against Colt Cundiff, his first batter face for the River Bandits, as that's chopped over to him. He fields it cleanly. Throw over to Jack Nielsen for out number one in time. Good play from Carter Raper to keep his composure and get the quick out over to Jack Nielsen.
The left fielder, number 4, Nick.
Nick Cleghorn. He had a big hit earlier this year. He had a big run earlier this game. He got home from first base after a big hit from Josh Holland. First pitch from Carter Raper is in there for strike one against Cleghorn. The 0-1 pitch hit back over to Sal Lamo. Have a chopper ball. Throw over to first. Jack Nielsen is in time. Two quick outs for Carter Raper. Sal Lamo with a nicely fielded ball. He's taken a couple weird hops. That's way inside. Almost hits Josh Holland. Josh Holland, the bottom of the batting lineup. One and 0 to Holland. No one on the bases. Quick inning so far for Carter Raper. That fastball gets in there. Strike one. He's throwing some heat. Looking good so far in a River Bandit uniform. Gonna need as many arms as we can get in the playoffs. You never know how long they might go. Here's the 1-1 as that's in there. Strike two. Hits the top of the zone. One-two pitch to Holland. There's a 1-2-3 inning from Carter Raper to start his River Bandit debut as he was pounding the strike zone here in the seventh inning. 4-1 game. Greenbrier Knights are still leading. We'll be back on YouTube Live to watch the River Bandits bats in the bottom of the seventh inning as Jack Nielsen is leading off. We're back here in Tarboro Municipal Stadium at the bottom of the seventh inning. Greenbrier Knights are leading the River Bandits 4-1 on this beautiful, hot July summer night. Jack Nielsen is at the plate, facing off against Bryce Burchett, who has been pretty locked in. Been out there for a while now. In relief of Zach Capps, who only went 2 innings. Don't know exactly what went on with him. I don't know if he faced an injury or they're just conditioning his pitching. As Jack Nielsen pops that up, but that's going to be, looks like out of play, and it is. 1-2 to Nielsen. Sal Lamo on deck. In the hole, John Howard. So 8, 9, and 10 here in the 7th inning. River Bandits going to get it around one more time. Nielsen skies that into left center field. Nick Cleghorn looking to get it, and the center fielder Scott McDonough gets under it instead, right at the wall. I thought it might carry and get out for Jack Nielsen. That's out number 1. Tried to play the last second of the song. Sal Lamo's walk-up song. It's Peanut Butter and Jelly Time. If you guys know that, I hope you guys do. A hardly hit ball at the shortstop, and that's in time for out number 2. Sal Lamo goes down in 1 pitch. Bringing up John Howard with 2 quick outs for Bryce Burchett. John Howard fouls that back into the netting for strike 1. Hope you all are enjoying the stream. We're here in the bottom of the 7th inning in Tarboro Municipal Stadium. A 4-1 ball game as John Howard looks at that one in there for strike 2. He's down in the count very quickly at 0-2. Could be a quick 1-2-3 for Burchett. Here's the 0-2. That is inside, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 to Howard as he pops that out of play. River Bandits have 5 hits on the day. Greenbrier Knights have 3, 2 errors on both sides. Here's the 1-2 pitch to John Howard. That's upstairs. John Howard working it back. Howard has a hit, a walk, and a run this game. And he's the last in the batting order, so he's having a good day for himself. Does have an error earlier in the game. He scorches that to the shortstop. Zach Will throw over to first. It's in time for a 1-2-3 inning for Bryce Burchett and the Greenbrier Knights. River Bandits have 6 outs remaining, try to get back in this 4-1 ball game, but they're going to have to keep the Greenbrier Knights from extending that lead. That'll be the end of this inning as Carter Raper coming out to try to do a 1-2-3 inning once again. We'll be back here on YouTube Live in just a moment. Carter Raper back out on the mound in the top of the 8th inning. And to keep this a 4-1 ball game as he went 1-2-3 in the 7th. And his first outing here for the River Bandits. His first pitch to Brody Miller, the leadoff man for the Greenbrier Knights, is upstairs for ball 1. And a 4-1 ball game as Brody Miller pops that up to third base. John Howard looking at that one sail outside of the fences, 1-1.
Hit down at the steps down there. I don't know what it is.
1-1 to Brody Miller. Now 2-1 as that's upstairs. That's scorched into left center. Preston Shelton gets under it right in front of the wall for out number 1. Good job from him as he hasn't been playing left field very often recently. He's out there doing a great job in left field. He's getting his bat hot again. One out as, that is hit so hard into center field, and our center fielder, Eston Snyder, just watches that one go into the trees. Scott McDonough, as I mentioned, the X factor for the Greenbrier Knights, with a massive home run to center field. As Eston Snyder just stopped running for that one. You could tell that one was way out of here. Now a 5-1 ball game. Greenbrier Knights. Carter Raper's first run against him on the River Bandits was a home run from Scott McDonough deep into center field. There's a big swing and a miss. Jake Tone now batting for the Greenbrier Knights. River Bandits are going to have a big uphill battle in the bottom of the 8th and the 9th. Down 5-1. Raper trying to keep it this way now.
Got it. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Debbie.
1-1 to Jake Tone. That's upstairs, 2-1. Two and one to Tone. That's way inside. Tone backs away from it. 3-1 now. Raper trying to gain back his composure after the Monmouth. Is that how you say it? Maybe I'm saying that. I think it's Monmouth. I don't know if that's where you're supposed to use it, but 3-1, and Jake Tone works the walk as that skips in the dirt. See if anyone gets up in the bullpen, or we're going to let Raper go out and finish this game for himself. He was looking really good in the 7th, and his first out was hit pretty hard to Preston Shelton in left. And then the home run, and now the 5-pitch walk. He's trying to get it back. Maybe a double play ball here. Would be the 3rd of the game for the River Bandits today as that fastball gets in there, strike 1. Let you know some pitching lines in just a moment. Here's the 0-1. That is inside, 1-1. So Jay Bullock started out the game. He went 3 2/3 with 1 hit, 3 runs, no earned, 5 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Dawson Wiggins came out of relief with 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Here's a pitch home from Raper. Ground ball gets past John Howard over to Preston Shelton in left, and that's going to hold him at second base. It's going to be a single for Jake Tone. Excuse me. I think that was Kenny Scheidel. Yeah, that was Kenny Scheidel with the single. Now first and second, one out for Carter Raper after that ground ball was hit too sharply past John Howard's glove. Yeah, he went stretching for it, just couldn't get to it. Carter Raper now in a 1-0 count. That first pitch is outside to Dylan Bowen. Raper so far, 1 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Could be different at the end of this inning as that's hit hard into left field. If it's fair, it is gone. A 3-run shot for Dylan Bowen, another one against the River Bandits. And that really puts the dagger into the River Bandits' hearts, 8-1. JR going to talk to Carter Raper on the mound after 2 home runs this inning after he breezed through the 7th inning. So I think at the point of this game, not that you want to say you're giving up, but you don't really want to put out any more arms to use. So you're really going to need them for the playoffs. You don't know how long those series are going to be. As tomorrow night, OBX versus River Bandits here in Tarboro is going to decide who gets that 2 and 3 seed. And there's something interesting about that dynamic I'm about to let you know. So 1-0 to the batter, Zach Will, after Dylan Bowen just hit a crazy home run to left field. Went fair. Just the right of the pole as another one might be gone. Preston Shelton running for that one, and that ball is out of here. 3 home runs this inning against Carter Raper, and the Greenbrier Knights are going crazy in their dugout. 9-1 Knights. Number 2 is pinch hitting for the Greenbrier Knights, Luke O. So 3 home runs this inning, a 9-1 ball game now. It was 4-1 just a few minutes ago. Smokey trying to hype the crowd up, but not much to be excited about here in Tarboro tonight, except for something that is a lot bigger than baseball. Our head coach, Grant Crosby, proposed to his now fiance, Carolyn. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And that was right before the game, so that was big. This game does matter, but I think Coach Grant Crosby is going to go home a happy man. Tomorrow, he's going to definitely be thinking about the OBX game as, like I said, 2 seed and 3 seed is determined by tomorrow night's game. As they're tied in their series, that last game is going to decide who gets higher as the Steamers are in first place. That has popped up towards Johnny Wallett's shortstop, and he's under it in the grass for out number 2.
The designated hitter number 6, Colt Cundiff.
Brings up Colt Cundiff. So yeah, the 4 seed is locked up by the Knights. 1 seed by the Steamers. 2 and 3 are going to be decided tomorrow night. Whoever gets the 2 seed is going to be away in their first game. That's not very conventional, very different. The commissioner here is thinking about the aspect of wanting to finish or clinch the either championship or the second, or clinch to get into the championship at home, because you have to win 2 games in that series. So the home team, or the team with the higher seed, is going to get games 2 and 3 in the best of 3 series. There's 2 best of 3 series. We're going to be playing Outer Banks in the first round either way, whether it's in Manteo for the first game and then 2 here, or here for the first game in Tarboro and then 2 in Manteo. We're hoping River Bandits get the 2 seed, because Outer Banks does not have a live stream, as their internet has not been cooperating. So they don't have a live stream over there, wouldn't be able to watch the games, and it's not what you want to hear, especially if they lose first round and you only get 1 game here in Tarboro live stream. And I very much enjoy doing the live streams here, so I don't want to miss that. I'd love to get a few playoff games under my belt. Those will always be really fun. Tomorrow's going to feel like a playoff game because you really need it. You need that win to get the higher seed. It is a little interesting, though, with the first game being away. That's hit hard to Johnny Wall. Throw over to first to Jack Nielsen is scooped up in time for out number 3. A 9-1 ball game after the Greenbrier Knights put up 5 in the 8th with 3 home runs, 2 solos, and a 3-run bomb. That'll do it for your 8th inning. I'll let you know a little bit more about that playoff picture when we're back in just a moment on YouTube Live. Johnny Wall now leading off in the 8th inning in a 9-1 ball game. Greenbrier Knights open up in the 8th inning, putting up 5. Really tough to see as Carter Raper in the 7th breezed through 1-2-3, and then in the 8th inning, 3 separate home runs, a 3-run bomb, a solo home run, and another solo home run. Now 1-1 to Johnny Wall. Johnny Wall hits that into center field. Scott McDonough running that down. Will he get there? He makes a diving grab as Scott McDonough is everywhere today. Eston Snyder now at the plate. Bryce Burchett still on the mound. He's went 3rd inning on so far. He's faced 84, or pitched 84 pitches, 5 1/3 innings pitched. Eston Snyder pops that up, hits the top of the stadium very loudly, as you most likely heard on the stream. So 1-1. Burchett, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run, no earned, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. He's been getting soft contact, getting some flyouts, some pop-ups. Not too many strikeouts, but he's been getting the job done. And Snyder, like I said, soft contact. The shortstop, Zach Will, drops it when he goes to take it. And the throw over to second, and Eston Snyder's called out. Snyder tried taking second base after the shortstop, Zach Will, tried to take the out from Dylan Bowen, drops it, throws over to second in time to get Snyder out. Bernal now at the plate in a 1-0 count. Burchett pitching amazing. 5 2/3. So yeah, I think it is really interesting about that playoff picture. The fact that the first game, if you lose that, if you're I'm trying to explain this because this is all a new concept to me. If you win that first game and you are the lower seed, you're already up 1-0, and the team that's up in a series 1-0 in a best-of-3 series, they're much better likely to win it. And when you're the lower seed and you get that first game at home, that's very interesting to get that first game at home because then you get the upper hand in a sense. Max Bernal does work the walk. Phillips Daniels now at the plate. Phillips Daniels trying to get Max Bernal home, trying to start a rally here. 7 hits for the Knights, 5 for the River Bandits as he hits that back over the second baseman's head. Josh Holland can't get to it. Max Bernal going to stay at second as Scott McDonough charges it, gets to it very quickly. Sharply hit single for Phillips Daniels. First and second, Phillips Daniels at first after the single, and Max Bernal at second. This was if it was still a 4-1 ball game, this would be a pretty massive at bat for Shelton with 2 outs. He could get a couple runs in as he hits that sky high into left field. Shelton pips his bat, and that ball is gone. Shelton with a 3-run bomb, and you just wish that it was still a 4-1 ball game. This would be a tied game here in the 8th inning. Shelton absolutely destroyed that ball as he's getting his bat hot right before the playoffs. Much, much, much needed. Lots of departures, and Preston Shelton was a hot bat earlier in the season. He's been very consistent, but when he's scorching hot, he is scorching hot. You want to see him stay that way, and that's the way he is right now. As much as the River Bandits might still lose this game, it's big to get that confidence up with a big home run like that, just going into OBX tomorrow and then the playoffs a few days later. August 1st, the first game of the series against the Scallywags. We'll see whether it's in Tarboro or Mantillo. As that's grounded out from Cam Greenway. Tough play from Zach Will. Throw over to first. Scooped up, and no, he can't get it. Greenway's going to run into second. First baseman Kenny Scheidel is going to have no throw over to second base. Having a meeting on the mound here. Some music is being played. Might be the end of his night. Some bullpen work going on as Bryce Burchett finally getting hit in this game. Bryce Burchett continuing on the mound. Now he has 3 earned runs against him after the home run from Preston Shelton. Trying to get the crowd into it. Cam Greenway over at second base after trying to beat out an infield single. It's under Kenny Scheidel, the first baseman's glove, and he gets into second safely. JR now at the plate in a 1-1 count. JR has been getting his barrel, or getting his bat on the, he's been hitting it well. Can't speak, but he's very early on it. Oh, that might have hit him. It's a player in the dugout that was, and that was actually the coach, the manager, just got away from that ball, standing up. Thank goodness that ball was scorched from JR. He needs to get in the dugout after that. That was really close to his face. That would have been devastating. Definitely a scare. He'll definitely be in the dugout after that. He gonna get that fair, and the umpire's gonna get in the way, but he's gonna run into him. And that's going to be the third out of the inning as he grounded that just fair down the first base line. Be the end of the 8th inning. Preston Shelton does bring home 3. Carter Raper coming out on the mound once again in a 9-4 ball game here on YouTube Live. Nick Cleghorn is leading off here in the top of the 9th inning with Carter Raper continuing out on the mound. Had a tough 8th inning, 3 home runs against him. Sorry about the score. When I click a home run and I have the players on the bases on Sideline HD, I always expect it to add the score itself. Tough play for Johnny Wall. Throw to first on the edge of his toes, and he gets the out. Great throw from Johnny Wall. He's been lights out over there at defense on the shortstop position. But yeah, as I was saying, the scoreboard on Sideline HD, I love everything about Sideline HD, but I'll click a home run, and it just won't add the score with the runners on the base. I have to manually do it, and sometimes I'm just caught up in everything else going on as that's fouled off against his foot. This is Josh Holland. So you never can count them out. River Bandits still have a chance, a 5-run ball game. Carter Raper trying to keep it that way. 1 out, 0-1 to Josh Holland. A righty-righty matchup, bottom of the batting lineup. That's way outside. Raper yanks that one, 1-1. That's in there for strike 2. Looked inside. Gets the inside strike call as this home plate umpire has been awarding pitchers tonight with that. Here's the pitch hole, and that bounces up. Have some pitchers doing the radar down there, and it bounced up towards their face. Netting is in the way. Wouldn't hit them, but they both did a nice little flinch. I would have done the same thing. I can't blame them. That's Adam Quincy and Ryan Nielsen down there doing the radar as that is yanked again. 3-2 now to Josh Holland. 2 great pitchers for the River Bandits down there doing the radar. Nielsen got the start last night against the Scallywags. He went 4 innings with 1 hit and no earned runs. Nice outing from him. Here's the payoff pitch. Big swing and a miss from John Holland, and JR is going to pick it up and tag Josh Holland with the strikeout.
Right fielder number 5, Brody Miller.
I miss my family. Brody Miller now at the plate. We have some people missing their family in the stands. 1-0 to Brody Miller. Sometimes I like talking about what the fans are talking about. Is that is sky high into right field. Right fielder trying to get to that, and Cam Greenway gets to it. I thought he didn't make the play. It's hard to tell from here in the light, but a great play from Cam Greenway for out number 3. Thought that might have been another bomb. Cam Greenway the 7 on the hit scoreboard, but River Bandits still down 5. We'll be back in just a moment as Jack Nielsen is leading off with a chance to get back into this ball game. 3 outs remaining. Jack Nielsen leading off, trying to get on. Looks at strike 1 to start the inning. The River Bandits have 3 outs remaining, down 9-4. It was a 4-1 ball game until the 8th inning. Carter Raper went out on the mound and 3 home runs, 2 solo shots, and a 3-run bomb. That just kind of deflated the building here in Tarboro, the stadium, rather. And Jack Nielsen now at the plate trying to come back from that. River Bandits do put up 3 in the 8th as well. So if the River Bandits kept it at 4-1, it would have been tied 4-4 after a Preston Shelton bomb to left field. He pimped the bat there. 2-1 to Jack Nielsen. 2-2 now. That fastball down the middle of the zone. Nielsen taking some pitches. Trying to get on anyway, anyhow. Bryce Burchett still on the mound as that is inside. Almost hits him. Backs away from it. Now a full count. You really need to get the first man on, and Jack Nielsen tasked with that duty. If you're down 5 with 3 outs remaining, you can't have the first man get out. Pitch home, and he pops it up. That's exactly what's going to happen. Second baseman and shortstop might run into each other. The shortstop, Zach Will, gets to it, though, in shallow center for out number 1. Sal Lamo now at the plate as he looks at that one low. He skies that one. Pop up to Zach Will. Zach Will in the grass for out number 2. 2 consecutive pop-ups, and River Bandits are 1 out away from losing this ball game. Rather, the Greenbrier Knights are 1 out away from winning it. Brandon Phillips pinch hitting for John Howard, a righty-lefty matchup, trying to get something going. He's late on that fastball, 0-1. Phillips hits that over to Zach Will, throw over to first, and that'll be the ball game. Lightly hit ball, chopper over to Zach Will, and Zach Will gets the final 3 outs of the game over at shortstop for the Greenbrier Knights. River Bandits go down 9-4 here in Tarboro. Greenbrier Knights with a nice game. They were up 4-1 for a good portion of the game, put up 5 in the 8th inning. As I mentioned, the 3-run bomb, and then 2 solo home runs. Made it 9-1. River Bandits put up 3 in the bottom of the 8th, responding to that with a Preston Shelton home run, but it's just not enough. Both teams had 7 hits, 3 errors for the Knights, 2 for the River Bandits. But leaving runners on base for the River Bandits and just a tough 8th inning for the River Bandits kind of sealed that game, put a dagger in the 8th inning. Had a little bit of light with the Preston Shelton home run. It's always nice to get his bat hot as he's one of our best players. So you want him to be hot coming into the next few days. Tomorrow night, the biggest game of the season here in Tarboro. As much as you love the regular season, you want them to win as many games as possible. They're 20-15. Now with that loss, I think 20-16. I don't think it's updated yet. So 20-16. If they're 21-16 tomorrow, they have the 2 seed, and that's really all that matters. They'll have the advantage. If they play the Steamers in the championship, it would be unfortunate. They wouldn't have home field advantage. But even with that, it doesn't matter because you just got to go out and win those few games. You win those few games, and you get the championship. So whether you're at home or not, you can win these games. So regular season always matters. Get your team up. You really know who your guys are that are here to stay. Lots of players have left, and now new ones coming in, and players that have stayed throughout the whole season, really pushing through this whole season. They're here to stay. So a few more games, including the playoffs. One more is the final regular season game tomorrow night against OBX. Biggest night of the season for the River Bandits, trying to clinch that 2 spot. They do fall to the Greenbrier Knights tonight, 9-4, now 0-2 against them on the season. And that'll do it here in Tarboro Municipal Stadium. Super excited for the game tomorrow night. Super excited for our head coach Grant Crosby as he proposed. Now his fiancée Carolyn going to have a great life together. I'm super excited for the both of them. Hope Coach Grant Crosby will be thinking about the game tomorrow night as well against OBX. We will see you tomorrow night. I'm Dom Kasolki.